Hey guys,
Okay, we're
how's
live.
it going? Happy Wednesday, September 9th?
September 9th. Good to see
2020.
everyone out there.
Yes.
As we move into fall. I love
And
summer, but I love fall too.
we also moved into school.
Yeah, big
Big
shift here.
Big shift, yes. Hopefully first and second day of school went well for everyone. Did we introduce ourselves?
Nope.
I don't think so. Do you want to introduce
Yeah,
us?
sure. I'm John Gardner. This is Radlyn Mendoza, and we are the partners at the law firm of Gardner and Mendoza Immigration Law. And we come together here every Wednesday night for a few updates that we like to give you, but most importantly, we like to answer questions. So if you have any questions about immigration, please drop them in. Let us know. We love to get the questions, and we love to answer them. Some of the questions we get ahead of time during the week, people sign in and through Messenger and so forth. But if you have a question while we're on live, put it up and we will absolutely answer it.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
All right, fantastic. But before we do that, and while you all are typing all of your questions in today, because I know that's what you're going to do, we're going to give some updates.
Yes.
As we always do.
Yes.
The weekly immigration and court updates.
Yeah. Yeah, should I move right into that right now while we
I
wait
say
for some
we
questions?
move right in and go for it. Absolutely.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, I always like to start with the state court updates, and I also like to start always by saying hello to my mother who's watching. Hi, Mama. Good to see you.
Oh, Mill. My mother-in-law is the best, guys, I have to say. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, state court updates. As you know, despite COVID, the courts are up and running. Everything is back to normal. Has been for several months now. 2 months now. So make sure that if you have court coming up, you get your paperwork, find the date, make sure that you're there. The coronavirus is no longer an excuse for not showing up in court. So if you're not there and you're supposed to be there, they may issue an arrest warrant. So just be careful. Check your date. Double check your date, okay?
What would you say if someone had symptoms of coronavirus? Could they call the court and say, hey, I've got court today?
Yeah, if you've got symptoms, you could call the clerk's office, or you can just go. I mean, assuming you feel well enough to, to get out and about, and just advise the sheriff's deputies when you're entering the courthouse. Because what's happening here, this week I've been in Norfolk, I've been in Chesapeake, I've been in Virginia Beach. Last week I was in Newport News, and things are pretty consistent, courthouse to courthouse. And basically what's happening is you show up, you've got to have a mask on to enter the courthouse. And when you enter, they are asking you questions when you go through security, even before you go into the courthouse itself. Like when you're outside on the courthouse steps, I always wanted to say that, on the courthouse steps. I was asking questions on the courthouse steps.
Yes, actually, we do all of our most important work on the courthouse steps.
That's right. Every movie's got the lawyers doing everything on the courthouse steps. In my 22 years, the courthouse steps have only been used for
stepping up,
stepping in, and stepping down when entering and leaving the courthouse. But anyway, we digress. While you're on
news reporters.
That's right. While you're on the courthouse steps, you're going to be asked some questions, whether you have traveled out of the country in the last 2 weeks, whether you have knowingly been exposed or in close contact with anybody who is tested positive for COVID-19. And then getting to your question, they also ask you whether you have any symptoms at the moment. And if you're standing there and you tell the sheriff's deputy that yes, you do, then they're going to be able to at least radio in, let them know who you are, why you're not entering the courthouse. If you're well enough to go, I think that's better, because when you call the clerk's office, it could be a weak link there. Nothing against the clerk's office. They do a great job. It's just
very busy.
Yeah, exactly. So I would try to show up. So that's the update for the courts. Make sure you have your masks. They're kind of limiting who can go in, but it's all very, very uniform right now and orderly. Every courthouse that I've been to, they've got X's with tape marked on the seats where you can sit, when you go up to have your case heard, instead of standing at the bench next to everybody, you're standing back with little tables, and it's great.
It's busy though, right? In places like Virginia Beach, it's pretty.
Oh yeah,
pretty packed in there.
It's just like the old days, except that they've got 6 feet separating, where you're sitting. Everything is separated. All right. So that's state court update. And then also, I've been getting some questions, and so I wanted to address it up front. As you may know, or you've heard me talk about, on January 1st, 2021, the Virginia Driving Privilege Card will become available. All right. That is the new law that the General Assembly passed, and it goes into effect on January 1st. It's going to allow you to get a driving privilege card for the Commonwealth of Virginia, and it will allow you to drive in Virginia legally without showing any form of immigration status. So you don't have to show anything regarding your presence in the immigration presence in the United States or in Virginia, okay? All you'll have to show is that you can pass the driving test, that you have insurance, all right, and that you have received income in the Commonwealth of Virginia in the last 12 months and reported it on a tax return, okay? So I've already met several people who have all those things. They've, been working here for years, been filing taxes for years, I have insurance, I can pass the test, and the only thing that's been a hang-up for me is an immigration issue. That's not a hang-up anymore. So if you qualify for that, make sure you start to get all your stuff together so you can hit it right on January 1st. And I say to make sure you get your stuff together ahead of time, because everything with DMV is totally slowed down right now and bottlenecked. So it's not like the old days where you could just roll in on January 2nd to a DMV in your neighborhood and say, hey, here's the stuff I have. You're going to need to make an appointment. I assume it'll still be like that even by January, would be my guess. And everything you're doing at the DMV right now, I know from personal experience, you're scheduling, it's at least a month out. So if you think you're going to qualify for this, get your paperwork together, and then hop on that DMV website and try to get an appointment scheduled so you can be first in line. All right. We always encourage our clients to be first in line.
First in line. Yes. I love first in line. So before we go on, do you want to give our disclaimer that our lawyers lawyers give us? Because lawyers have lawyers too. You should always have a lawyer.
Yeah, for non-immigration matters, we hire lawyers.
Yes.
And our business lawyers tell us, well, our business lawyer, I don't want to make it sound like we've got a whole team working.
We don't have a whole team.
Our one business lawyer always reminds us to tell you that this Facebook Live is for educational and information purposes only. This is not legal advice, okay? So what we talk about here, it's great information, and it's, am I allowed to say that it's correct? I'll have to ask him about that, because I know that it is.
It's educational.
It's educational.
Is all educational information correct?
Yeah, I mean, what you hear here is going to be accurate, but the bottom line is you can't rely on it and then go do something. So please don't make a decision about your immigration case or your criminal or traffic case and make it based on what you heard here alone, okay? If you heard something here and it's helpful and you think it's what you need, then call us and follow up and become a client of ours, and then you can rely on every single word we tell you, okay?
So, Miss Evelina, hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us. It's great to see you. She is confirming that her DMV appointment is 2 months away. Exactly,
okay. So there's a thank you for weighing in or signing in to let us know that. Really appreciate it. So there's some proof right there that if you need to go do something at the DMV, we're talking about a couple months out. So thank you for that.
Yes, and she also has a question here. Since they are no longer letting go of all those employees at the immigration office, how long is the process for citizenship taking now? So, Ms. Evelina, I'm gonna, while John is discussing the next thing that he's gonna be discussing, whatever that next thing is.
That's all I'm discussing. That was it.
I'm gonna give you the processing times right now. Right. So I'm gonna just take a guess, and it's probably gonna be 9 to 12 months. And even though the furloughs didn't happen, I was going to talk about this during my update, but I will go ahead and just say now, even though the furloughs didn't happen, there are still going to be significant delays due to cutting of a lot of their contracting services. And basically, here's the quote from uscis.gov, their website. The additional cost savings come through the descoping of federal contracts. That's something. They're descoping the federal contracts that assist the USCIS adjudicators in processing and preparing case files, as well as a myriad of other support activities. Anticipated operational impacts include increased wait times for pending case inquiries with the USCIS contact center. That's when you're calling the 1-800 number. Longer case processing times and increased adjudication time for aliens adjusting status or naturalizing. Naturalization ceremonies will continue. Wow, I can't read. I feel like it's the first time I've ever read in my entire life. But anyway,
sounds good to me.
Thank you. They're descoping the contracts, and what that means is basically
all the contracts have been descoped.
Right, and things are just going to take longer, even though they did not furlough 13,400 people. Thank goodness for that. They still are anticipating delays. But before we get off of our Facebook Live, I will give you that update. Okay, hopefully. Remind me, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking it up right now. Mm-hmm. I wanted to also just another brag session. I love bragging about our team and our law firm. Yeah, this is our 20th year, guys. This is our 20th year. Next month is going to be the 20th anniversary of Gardner and Mendoza, and we are super proud of that.
Yes.
Some of you guys on the call, on the live, were actually at our 15th anniversary party 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's
right.
Like
Aunt Sue.
Cool. Aunt Sue.
And your mom.
Yep, Aunt Sue.
Anyone else on here that came to that party? That was a great party. It was fun. It was a crazy wild storm. We thought maybe the tent would blow over.
Blow away, that's right.
And we were going to have a big party this year, but 2020, we're going to celebrate our 20th anniversary in 2021. It's going to be amazing. So why did I talk about? Oh, yes, I like bragging about the team. So here is the most recent Google review, and it doesn't say who the lawyer is, and I'm not going to say who the lawyer is. It says, the best lawyer you could ever find, professional in every way, yet friendly to keep you at ease. Even when you could not meet my needs, you provided me with the best support and advice I will forever cherish. Happy to pass the torch in your name, and I look forward to your engagement in the future. Thanks so much for your help. I am ever grateful. And that just touches my heart, because
awesome.
Sometimes when we consult with people who call in, we can't help them. We can't help them. We can't help their situation. There could be a variety of reasons, but this particular person, just even though we couldn't help, she wrote a great Google review, and really, really appreciate that review. And I just wanted to read it to you guys, because it just, when I read it, it just touched my heart, because that's exactly what we're here for.
Exactly what we're here for, what we're shooting for, and it speaks about our team, and that makes us really happy. And I just wanted to say, this is super cool. So my aunt just told us that she is watching us right now from the Philadelphia airport. She says, watching from Philly airport. That's cool.
That is very cool.
Have a safe trip home, Sue. I hope you and my mom had fun.
Yes, absolutely. The sisters visited one another. Aunt Sue went to Ohio, where John is from, Akron, Ohio. Okay, so I'm on USCIS.gov. I'm going to have to come back to that because I don't know if you guys have been on USCIS.gov. It's a brand new website. It's a brand new interface. And Miss Evelyn, I may have to email you separately about that if I can't quite put my finger on it while I'm talking. Because John, he's basically said he's done talking for the moment.
Well, just state court updates and, you know, the driving privilege card. And honestly, everything in the criminal and traffic world is completely back to normal, other than wearing a mask in court. I know that we can't say that for the immigration side at all. Still a lot of weird stuff going on, but the criminal and traffic, the state courts are just sort of back to normal. Yep.
Okay. So we've been to interviews at the Norfolk Immigration Office. I just wanted to give you my recent update. Was there last Friday, and Sarah's been there. So I've gone in for adjustment of status interviews. I've also gone in for our clients who are going to interview for naturalization. I've been to those interviews, and my recent one was an adjustment of status, and that's where in this particular case, a student, F1 student, married a U.S. citizen, and we can go through the process, of course, and getting the foreign national their lawful permanent resident status. Okay, so typically, it's the officer, the couple, and the attorney. And in the one I've done before, we all were in the office together, and they couldn't provide the social distancing for the attorney and the client. It was fine. I was fine with it. Clients were fine with it. I mean, I don't know if the clients were fine with it, but they wanted to get their case over and done with. So
right.
it was what it was. But on Friday, this particular officer took the couple in one by one with me, and I was a little bit surprised by that. And Aunt Jill is on. How's it going, Aunt Jill? Thanks for joining. We have a lot of family members on. Appreciate that.
South Florida. Yeah.
We appreciate the support, and everyone who's on. We do appreciate you all coming on and watching and asking questions. But anyhow, so first it was the husband, and we went in there, and that was pretty quick, and went through the green card application questions, the I-485 questions. Have you ever been arrested? Or you plan to practice polygamy? All these wonderful questions that our clients have to be asked, and hopefully say no to all of the questions. So we went through that, and it went fairly quickly. And this was a case that started out as a fiancé visa case. So it was, pretty cut and dry, right? So then the husband walked out, and then the wife walked in. And so it did take a little bit longer than normal because it was split up, but I was surprised that happened because it had not happened the week before with a different officer. So if you are going with your attorney, that may happen. Don't freak out. When couples get separated, sometimes, well, I will say most of the time, in my experience, it's because they're going to ask the couple some questions separately, and then line the questions up to see if they match up, to see if the couple is actually a bona fide married couple. And so that may not be the case. Hopefully that's not the case in your case, but in this case, it was because the officer said, hey, I want to try to practice social distancing with all of you guys in there. I'm not going to be able to do that. So that's something to expect, and don't be shocked and surprised if that happens to you. So I wanted to report that. We also got an email today from USCIS that as of August 25th, USCIS is now prohibiting wearing neck gaiters and bandana face coverings in the workplace. So John didn't know what a neck gaiter is.
Yeah, no neck gaiters. I thought this had something to do with the University of Florida.
No.
But apparently it does not.
It's basically, like that neck thing where you kind of, it's like a scarf and then you pull it up around your neck. It's kind of funny too, because the first adjustment of status interview I had with the first couple, they're both doctors, and this one officer walked out with a neck gaiter, and one of the couple said, that's not safe. And then we had that officer. We're fine though. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
No problems there. But
no, I was confused. My aunt in Florida probably, the Floridians know about gaiters.
Yeah, right.
This is not that kind of a gaiter. This is a neck gaiter.
Right. So don't wear a bandana. You have to wear, I guess, a proper mask. And don't wear that ski neck gaiter thing that, you can see right through. The reason is because they may not stop exhale droplets and may even increase small droplets exhausted from the mask. Some of this language that I'm reading is quite interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So
before you move on to other information, while we're still on this safety and being freaked out, one thing I did want to let you know is, in Newport News, also don't be freaked out. They're making folks wait to have their cases heard if you're in the Juvenile and Domestic Relations District Court in a parking lot across the street.
Oh yeah, okay? That's right, you're saying.
Unlike the regular courts where they're public and everyone can be in there, in Juvenile and Domestic Relations courts in Virginia and probably across the country, I would guess, they're not open to the public, so only the people who have a case there are allowed in the courtroom, and you can only go in when your case is called. So you can't even watch other cases. But now they're also making you wait across the street, and they also are doing a temperature check. That was the one courthouse that I've been to that was taking everyone's temperature going in, so be prepared for that. I have an SIJS immigration case in that courthouse next week, so I'll report back next week and let you know if anything has changed. All right?
SIJS, Special Immigrant Juvenile Case.
Yes.
Which is a kind of a cross between immigration and family law.
It is. It's actually one of my very favorite types of cases to handle because it's just great clients and the results are great, and it's a happy case.
It's very, very happy.
All right.
Okay, I have Miss Evelina's question. Her question was, how long is it taking N400s right now? The range, the estimated time range for Norfolk right now on their website is 9 to 13 and a half months. So the 13 and a half months, those are going to be more outlier cases. I don't want people to freak out and say, oh my gosh, my case is going to take 13 and a half months. It could, depending on the situation, the facts, but we, again, we see cases more in the, the lower range of that estimated time range. So there you go, Ms. Evelyn, and of course you can reach out to us anytime also. All right, let's see what else we have here.
Good job nailing down that number though.
Oh yeah, it's fancy finger work on the keyboard.
She's a great partner.
I found the link on the new website. All right, I should have known exactly where it was. It's basically under manage your case. And don't click the check your case status, which you can do. You can click check case status and put your receipt number in there, but you check the next box, which is check processing done. So we really need to get this hooked up to, maybe we'll do a Zoom of the new website after I am on the new website more. All right, so just one more new update, and that is about temporary protected status. If you don't know what TPS is, then this probably doesn't apply to you. But temporary protected status, some of our clients from El Salvador, Honduras, designated that the country, like El Salvador, is the people who were here during, I believe it was Hurricane, I don't remember. It was back in 90.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was right when I started practicing law, 90. Anyway, so people here have temporary protected status as designated by the government, and people with temporary protected status can actually travel outside of the country, and we apply for a advanced parole for them. And when they come back in, they're inspected, okay? I didn't really mean to get all into this, but
no, this is good information.
They're inspected upon entry into the United States. And previous to what I'm about to tell you guys right now, people who are inspected and are inspected by an immigration officer at a port of entry can then adjust their status to become a lawful permanent resident of the United States. So as of August 20th, there was a new decision that USCIS adopted, and basically it's no, you cannot, if you leave, you enter back in with your TPS status, and therefore you are not going to get paroled in, you're not going to get inspected, and so you can't apply for adjustment of status. And that's unfortunate for many people who have TPS, because it was their one way to adjust status. Sometimes people are, maybe they have a child that was born in the United States and that child is now 21 years old. So 1998, or the kid would be 21, right? And so that child's not going to be able to petition for the parent if that parent was not inspected upon entry, if that parent made an entry without inspection. And so that is, effective for people who are coming in through using TPS and advanced parole, August 20th, 2020. It does not affect all the people who have already adjusted their status in this manner. So for those of you out there who may be affected by this or may know someone just pass that information on. And if you need any more clarification from that, just let us know and we'll clarify.
Yeah, and a couple more hellos. Our buddy Cliff is checking in. Good to see you.
Hey Cliff, what's going on?
And look, my Uncle Frank is checking in. Awesome.
Frank. Oh, we have a lot of family members here.
I love it.
Fantastic. You guys are, we love the support.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we got to plan a guide trip.
Guide trip, yeah. All right, so it's not the most important thing, but filing fees are set to increase on October 2nd, 2020. That's happening. That's in a few weeks. It's not too late to engage our law firm if you're looking at that N400 and you're just like, I just can't do this before October 2nd. I need some help. Or, the adjustment of status package if you're married to a U.S. citizen, or if you are the parent of someone who's a U.S. citizen. If you need assistance with that, let us know, and we will put a rush job on it. Because at this point, because it is September 9th, it would be a rush job in getting it out and filed properly before October 2nd. But the filing fees will increase by 20%, in some cases pretty significantly, like the N400, the citizenship application is going up from $640 to $1170. So that's an 83% increase. Is huge.
Pretty intense.
If you have an extra $500 lying around, no big deal. Yeah. But for those who don't, try to get it in. It's definitely worth it. And speaking of citizenship, we are having Citizenship Day on February, is it the 20th? Yes, Saturday, February 20th, 2021. So please keep posted here. This is a day where attorneys get together, paralegals, immigration paralegals, and just volunteers, law students who are interested in immigration law. And we assist the community in preparing and filing the N400, all for free. And it's a great opportunity for you to finally get that N400 done, and for us to be able to help you to do it and look it over and make sure it's all good.
It's really cool. They work so hard all day. It's usually at St. Gregory. We'll be there again this year. Do you know?
Not sure. We don't know what's going to happen as far as the location. We're brainstorming right now. Maybe it could be a virtual event. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. We're hoping that we can still do it in person, because it's just a great energy. It's a great vibe. Of all the things that we do, this is my favorite thing that we do. And when the whole the immigration community comes together and helps those that really need it. And we did 40 applications last year, and that's what we do every single year. So hope to see some of you there. If you can wait, if you want to wait a little bit. But again, you just know that filing fee is going up after the first. Yeah.
And if you have immigration knowledge and you'd like to volunteer, let us know.
Right. Absolutely. Let's see here. Let me just quickly scan.
And even if you don't, you can just help me unload boxes.
That's right. And there's a we give out the study guides, and usually some of the supervisors from the immigration office, they set up a table, and it's just a fun event. Last year we had really cool. Elaine Luria came by, Michael Berlucci. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Okay, Berlucci, and who else was there? Scott Taylor. Scott Taylor was there
as well. That's right.
Yeah. So it's a great event. And hello to Karen. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. All right. That is the one big thing that I wanted to emphasize with regard to the fees coming up. Citizenship Day, looks like I covered everything. There's a lot of back and forth about the public charge rule. Yeah, but this Friday, we are going to come out with definitive, hopefully. The public charge rule, the I-944, for those of you who have been following, the question is whether to file the 944 public charge rule form with your green card application right now or not to file it. So in previous weeks, we're filing and we're still filing. It's not on the uscis.gov website anymore. The I-944, if you search for it, they've taken it down from their website. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. We're still doing the research and trying to get that, basically the answer as to what we're doing.
We're part of groups. We're talking to immigration lawyers all over the country, and there's no consensus on this among the smartest immigration attorneys around the country. We're all still trying to figure out exactly how to approach this. So we will keep you posted.
And I know that's different from what we said last week. I mean, we are lawyers after all, right? That's why this is for educational purposes only.
Well, I mean, plus when you're dealing with the government, things are fluid.
And
always fluid.
And lawsuits, injunctions, and everything else. So
yeah, exactly. Courts weigh in, and then instantly things change.
So Evelina also asked if there are any study guides or practice tests on the anywhere. So on the website, the old one and this new one, there are tons of citizenship practice guides. There are things you can download, MP3s, so you can listen to that in your car. They also have flashcards that you can also download, or is it upload? It's download, yeah. And yes, there are tons of resources. So if you need me to send you that link, I absolutely will, for sure.
Get it, practice. You can do it.
Oh, it's so easy. She's been here for a while too. Okay, you know what? I shouldn't say it's so easy. It's not so easy for people who haven't grown up with it. Okay, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right. My bad.
You know, I think about that sometimes with the citizenship test. You know, we travel a lot, and whenever we travel, one of the things that I always do, Radlyn can tell you, is, you know, despite all the Google searches and all these online travel things, I still go out and buy the books, you know, the Frommers and the Fodders and the so on and so forth. I don't know, Mom, if you remember all the Frommers books that we always had for all the trips. But in any event, travel all over the world, all these places, and I love to read the books. And they always have, as part of them, sort of the history of the country or the city, whatever it may be, rather than just like, you know, the cool things to go see and do. You know, the whole history and the politics and the political history and what happened. And it's always really fascinating, but I've always found that I have to read it multiple times because I'll read the whole thing and then I'm like, wait a second, what was that again? And then I start over and I read it again because it's sort of hard to absorb all that information when it's all just coming to you brand new. So anyone out there who is planning to naturalize, you know, it's just stick with it. It'll eventually all stick together in your brain.
Yes, and Evelina says she's scared. She hates tests.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Who loves tests?
Nobody loves tests.
It is scary. We're going to be there with you though, right? So you do have that security blanket.
Yeah, practice.
Let me just speak to that really quickly. Our clients are so nervous in that interview room. I mean, y'all are nervous. Y'all are sometimes so nervous that you make me nervous. I'm like, why are you so nervous? This is above and beyond nervous. So one of the things that we do, and we're doing this through Zoom right now, and it's working just as well as when we do it in person, is we interview prep. We always prepare our clients for the interview. No question on the application goes unasked. We ask every single one of those questions. And, you know, our client's like, no. I mean, just going down the list of, you know, all these questions. And it's surprising how, you know, because of our clients' nervous, even in the interview prep, how they'll get something wrong, or they just won't remember something, or, you know, maybe they'll answer yes to a question that should be no, that we answered no on the application. And then, you know, during the interview prep, we'll say, hey, what do you hesitated, you answered yes, and then you changed to no. Is there something else going on there that I need to know? So it really does, when somebody is asking these questions, and I think that our clients also think that they kind of really get in the role, because I tell them, look, I'm the immigration officer, okay? Just pretend I'm the immigration officer. And they just, you know, they get just nervous. And especially with couples, and they get their birth dates wrong, and the marriage is like, what? And they laugh, and then, you know, the spouse is like, you forgot my birthday, you made me younger. And, you know, it's funny during the interview prep. I'm like, look, guys, I know you're super nervous. This is to get the nerves out, and just to make sure that you're ready for this interview. Because if you've never been asked these questions orally before, it's different. It's a little bit different. So if you don't have an attorney, or if you are going in there, you're a self-filer, have one of your friends go through all the applications, ask all the questions on the N400. If you're doing a marriage case, on the I-130 to the 485, you know, the affidavit of support, all that stuff. You got to go in and out of those applications. And especially for the N400 with people who are struggling with the English language, this is kind of, it's not well, people don't know. It is a secret. Let's just say it's a secret. But for those who are struggling with English, some of my clients will just memorize the whole application. Okay, I've seen this before. Actually, they've failed the test, the English portion of the test. They've passed the civics and the history because they've memorized the 100 questions, like they've memorized it. But then when the officer is in the application, they don't quite understand what some of those questions are. So the secret is that the officer is also testing you when she's asking you the questions on the N400. From question 1 all the way to the 21st page, she's testing your English, whether you can speak, whether you can understand English. So even if you're able to write the one sentence in English, which is, where is the White House located, for example, and you can read it, the White House is located in Washington, D.C., even if you do that perfectly, if you are struggling with what certain things mean, like prostitution or terrorist activity, or if they ask you a question differently, have you ever failed to pay your taxes? But the officer says, do you always pay your taxes? And you say no because you've studied it, have you ever failed your taxes? That can be a problem for you. So just be careful with that. Have somebody, if you don't have an attorney, have someone go over that N400 application or any application that you're filing when you appear for an interview. And that is our $1 million advice for tonight.
For sure.
Do we have any questions?
You can prepare for it and just, it is scary and you feel the pressure.
Yeah.
There's a reason that the greatest soccer players in the world sometimes miss the penalty shot, even though they've made it 1,000 times before. It's the pressure. It's just because of, it's the stress gets to them, but usually they make it. So just keep practicing and the odds are that you're going to pass it. All
Absolutely. Right? And here also is, Evelina says, look, it feels like a matter of life and death. It's scary. It's not a matter of life and death. We know that it's not, even though it feels that way. But, you can also miss 4 out of the 10 and still pass. So for the mathematicians out there, that's a 60. For everyone who's gone to school, we all know that a 60 is failing, but a 60 is passing for purposes of the naturalization, history, and civics test. So hopefully that makes you guys feel better out there, especially Miss Evelina.
I'm glad this came up because, this is something that I'm happy for us to talk about because people do feel a lot of stress about that, a lot of anxiety, and all you can do is just keep practicing it. And like Radlyn said, try to take it out of order. Maybe put all the questions in a box or on flashcards and shuffle them. Yeah, absolutely. Right.
And we have flashcards. I'm pretty sure they're updated. So I will make sure that whoever needs them, let me know, and you will get them. All right. I think we have no more questions, and I'm just checking to see if any recaps here. No, that is it. We are so happy to have been able to talk to you guys tonight. Thank you so much for the engagement. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm noticing that fall must be coming because it's darker than it has been.
I know, it is.
It's already happening.
It's been breezy.
It's already happening.
It's super humid. Wait, can you give them an update on our office? What's going on at Gardner Mendoza with regard to appointments and things like that?
Well, yeah, we're still virtual right now. So everything is still happening through phone calls, through Zoom calls, drop boxes. If you want to come in to drop something off, that's fine. You will need a mask, as you do everywhere else that you go. But we're still working virtually. We have been for 15, 17 years now. I say that kind of jokingly because for us, this has really been nothing new because we have been working with clients all over the world for many, many years. So we're used to talking to people through video cameras on phones at weird times of the day and night because they're in different time zones than we are. So for us, this is all pretty par for the course. We understand that people are longing for, human contact with one another and human interaction. And we get that. That's cool. We are too. And there will come a time, I'm sure, when we will be open just like everyone else. We can gather again in our conference room. We can see what yummy, delicious food you brought us, because our clients always bring us food, which is fantastic.
Hey, we have some frozen scallops that we need to get.
So that'll be coming.
At the office. Somebody dropped off some scallops.
But for now, everything is virtual, and that doesn't change anything. I mean, we can get the cases, the intake done, the work done, get them filed, everything, and we never have to see you. Not that we don't want to see you, but we don't have to see you.
Right. Well, we do. We do miss our clients, and we do miss seeing our team daily. Our team, for the most part, they kind of have a revolving door of when they go in. Is that correct terminology? Yeah. So rotating. Yes. Yeah. Revolving sounds like in and out.
Yeah.
No, rotating.
Yeah. There's almost always at least one person there.
1 to 2 people. Yeah. Absolutely. But so everything, just as John said, we're doing virtual. We still have our office in Newport News. Kind of a bummer that we're not able to use it, but it is still there. Yeah. And we do appreciate our clients who are calling us and calling the Newport News number, and appreciate your patience that we're doing these Zoom appointments and just everything. Again, we have nothing but gratitude for our community and for you guys. And please reach out to let us know if you need anything, if you need any help, especially before these fees go up. Our phone number at the law office, and who's writing this down? I don't know. 757. I just want to sound like an infomercial. 757-464-9224. You can also send us a message through Messenger, of course. Y'all are on Facebook, so boom, send us a message, or info@gmlaw.net. And we're also trying to put out an email with updates every, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks. So one is going to go out hopefully this Friday. It's been tough kind of keeping up with it as far as with school starting and everything. Yesterday was a pretty hectic day. Yeah. But good luck to everyone out there with regard to the schooling and virtual schooling and everything. I know everybody's doing their best. And to all of you guys too, please reach out to us if you need anything at all.
And of course, you can always find information at GardnerMendoza.com if you don't remember any of the other numbers. All right?
Right. Awesome.
Okay, gang.
All right.
Have a great night. At Gardner Mendoza, it's always 2 thumbs up. That's our attitude. All right?
All right.
Y'all have a great night.
Take care.
Take care.